Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining Peeling Back the Label with Book and Wine Lovers. For the entire month of April, we'll be showcasing Bookstagrammers. Authors know that if it really wasn't for them, they would really not do as well. Let's just put it that way. Now with social media, the authors really need extra help showing the book covers, telling people about what they liked about the book, their book reviews, and whatnot. And today I'm showcasing Debbie Razier. If I'm chopping your name up, we'll talk about it. But she's at Raspberry Reads and Wine, and we're going to talk to her today all about just basically being a bookstagrammer and what it takes to be a bookstagrammer and how she became one, what kind of genres she likes, her favorite books, and all things like that. So let's patch her in and give Debbie a warm welcome. Oh, where is she? Debbie, can you press the button where it says ask to join so I could patch you in? Or maybe I think it says collaborator or something. There we go. I see it now. Yay!
Hey,
it worked.
I know that
Hi,
was
Debbie.
awesome. Thank you for
Thank you.
having me, Stephanie.
Oh, thank you so much for coming on. I mean, we've known each other for about 2.5 years now. You've been working with me on book tours and whatnot. And I just figured, you know what? Let me ask Debbie and see if she would like to come on and, explain to everybody what it is, what it's like to be a bookstagrammer, what it entails, why you chose to do that, why did you decide to come out of your comfort zone and come on today, and how important is reading to you, just all things like that. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself first?
Absolutely. So, I'm in Florida right now. I live right now in Florida and in Chicago part-time. My husband's job is in Chicago. And so, but I still have two kids in college. I have four adult daughters. One's still in college. One is finishing up a second degree. So anyway, we still have a house here in Florida. So we go back and forth. So we actually just came for Easter. So that's been pretty fun. So right now I'm not working, so I've got plenty of time to read books just because of travel schedule and stuff.
Yeah.
So I have four adult daughters. I'm a retired school teacher. I used to teach 8th grade, and then I taught down to kindergarten. And then I wrote for Best Virgin Media actually up until when we moved. We moved he was going back and forth. I still had a child in high school. So he'd been there about 4 years. So,
Wow. What a nice background you have.
yeah, interesting. Interesting.
Yeah. And I like that you're able to be, snowbirds,
Right, and that's what I tell everybody. Even though we don't, I actually was in Florida weirdly enough for 3 months because my oldest daughter is married. Her husband actually today is coming home from deployment, so she lives in Tampa. So we weren't
Yay!
supposed to say he was on deployment because she's been home alone, but she's actually in Tampa, about 3.5 hours from me. I'm in North Florida, and so I've been going down there. She's been coming up to see me. She works remotely, and so, but he's actually like literally in the air to come home. So I was
Oh,
snowbird this
well,
year.
oh, yeah.
And
Tell
so
him thank you so much for his service.
I will,
That we all
we're
appreciate
super
it.
excited. Thank you. So
That,
normally I'm not a
that is
snowbird.
wonderful.
I like cold weather. I get tired of being hot. We've lived in Florida. We raised all our kids here. We've been here over 20 years. And so it's nice to be up there. We were there. I was up there last week and it snowed. So that was nice.
Mm-hmm.
I
Very
think it
nice.
snowed yesterday there, but I missed
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I know. A lot of Instagrammers I've been seeing saying like it snowed. I can't believe it. It's spring isn't here yet.
No, exactly.
Well, that's very nice. So thank you so much for coming on. And I guess we could start out with why did you decide? Well, all right. I know you said that you're retired now and you have the extra time, but how did you get into being a bookstagrammer? What made you want to do that?
Absolutely. So this is a funny story. I'm sure a lot of you have this as well. I've been on there. I think I didn't look to see how long because I have like 1,800 posts, but I started during COVID. I didn't even have an Instagram account. I didn't do an Instagram. I just did Facebook, like to connect with high school and college friends. So I have, like I said, 4 daughters. They're all grown. My second daughter she's actually getting her doctorate in chemistry, but she was a high school chemistry teacher. And during COVID, she lives in Mississippi, but anyway, she was like, hey, you love to read. You've always loved to read. My kids all know I read. And they're like, there's this thing called Bookstagram. I guess it showed up on her feed. So she's like, you ought to look at that. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I made it because I was also doing like wine. I was a wine advisor
Yes, we'll
part-time.
talk about that.
Yes, I was a wine advisor part-time. So anyway, the only reason I opened the Instagram was like, because people would be like, oh, let me post to Instagram. Do you have an account? I'm like, no. So I made one just for that. So she's like, well, you need to do that. So at first I was trying to do a book and wine. And I was like, no, that's a lot. I was only doing like once a week. But the more I saw the feed, the more I saw what people were doing, I was like, well, this is pretty cool. So it became like a true community for me.
Yeah, it is. And it's a wonderful community, I might add. Everybody supports everybody. I really like that.
Yes, yes. So that's how it came to be.
Very nice. Now, when you are working with book
Yes.
tours, and I know it could be very overwhelming because you might, agree to work on so many books a month, and then trying to juggle all of them and knowing when you're supposed to post and that kind of stuff. How do you juggle that? Do you have any suggestions? Do you have a special calendar? How does all that work?
So at first I did it like a spreadsheet, but then I was like, I'm never checking my computer. So I literally just do it on the app on my phone. And it's funny because I randomly share one of my daughters, we share a calendar. Oh, she's not even on my same phone plan. I guess iPhone's messed it up. So anyway, she gets them all. So I literally just put it on my calendar. Now I tried for book tours. I started trying to only do book tours Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays. And then like either not post or post for fun or post just random stuff. That's not working out so well. So I usually post book tour stuff like it ends up being Mondays through Fridays. I only try to post once a day. So far, like this week didn't work out that way because there's so many good books. I'm sure everybody out there's so many good books out there, with the opportunity to share authors that like I've never seen before, books that I've never read before. There's a lot of good books out there that aren't on the bestseller list. And
Right.
I think for me, that's one reason I do the book tours because I mean, we can all read and listen to, the bestsellers, and I do, don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm,
But I
mm-hmm.
think to be able to share some of these people, they work so hard. I don't want to be a writer. That's just a hard job to share their stories. And I mean, I read like 2 books this past week that I think are
Oh,
phenomenal for book
what,
tours.
what, tell us what they are.
Okay, so one
If you're
was, I don't know the
if you're
author because that
allowed.
book's in my closet. One was called Virtuous Women,
Oh,
and it was fascinating. It was a fictional book about basically write that down. I have to, of course, I
oh
can't. I
yeah.
don't want to run off, but my books are over here in the closet. It's about it's set in like 2 different time periods, but they're like 2008, 2010, then 2016, about a conservative Christian family and 2 women. Basically, one woman chooses to join it because she wants the stable lifestyle she thinks is gonna, and the other is born into it. It's fascinating and it's fabulous. So that was one. Daughter of a Promise. If you have Libro FM, that actually I listened to that in a day. The day April 1st. It's a retelling of David and Goliath. Not David and
Oh,
Goliath,
okay.
not
Then.
David and Bathsheba. David and Bathsheba.
Okay.
And that's in modern day New York City during COVID. It's crazy. It's not like religious, but it's like you can see exactly where it's coming from. Like I said, I had the book I ended up listening to. But those people, like, I mean, I didn't know any of their work beforehand. And to read it and to share it. I feel fortunate to be able to do that.
I, I agree. There's so many books out there that should be on the bestseller list, but because they don't have all that extra, marketing money
Right.
to really blow it
Right.
out, because,
Right.
these people, they're giving away, 200, 300 books, because they have the money, they can afford
Right.
it. And then all those people are posting reviews on, so everyone will see, wow, this is a great book, let me buy it, and then all of a sudden becomes, bestseller. So
Right.
yeah, it's the unsung heroes. I like to showcase them and let everybody know about them. And my favorite thing is seeing when there is a book tour and someone saying, like say you would write a review about it, and someone, one of your followers would say, "Oh my God, I have to get this book," or "Oh my God, I gotta, check this book out."
Right.
That's what I love, because that's what the authors want. They want people to see,
Right.
like you loved it, and then they want to see other people say, "Wow, that does look like a
Right.
good book,"
I agree. Agreed. And I think a lot of times, like with the books, if I have somebody like a follower, of course, half of them become friends, virtual friends, like the old pen pal time. But I'll be like, hey, I'll message them, be like, you may send you the book because I have it. And I would love to share it with people. I like to share it if I have it, and I'm happy to send it to you. So just to get it in more people's hands so more people can enjoy it. So I 100% agree with what you're
that
saying.
that's really nice of you. I tell all the people that are on the book tours, don't return it to Amazon, because some people do that.
Oh, I
And
had no
yeah,
idea.
yeah, oh yeah, some people will return the book.
Oh,
It hasn't happened to me, but I've heard that they
okay.
return the book. But if you return the book, the author's going to know. And then the author's going to get charged for that. So
Oh,
please, anybody out there, never return the book. Do what Debbie does. Give it to a friend, or donate it to the library, or donate
right,
it to, a thrift,
right.
anything, give it to a friend. Do not return it to Amazon. That
Oh,
is
right.
just, that's an insult, if you ask
Yeah. I,
me.
I had no idea. I'd never even thought about that.
Yeah, so but it happens, but and there's also, people out there just wanting to get the free books, and you have to be careful of that too. Being in the business that I am, the people that I choose are the people who really want to read the book.
Right,
That's why they sign up, because the authors sign up, because they know we're going to pick people that really want to read the book and who will, make an honest review.
right.
Speaking of reviews, how do you have like a formula, or just, do you have any rituals, like, oh, I have to have this in my review, or is it
No,
kind of like fly off the seat of your pants?
that's what it's become. So I always like just like aesthetics. I don't have an aesthetic on my page. And I love the people that do. I haven't figured out, and at this point, I don't think I will ever figure it out. The reviews are kind of the same,
I've
so I
been
try.
told I need to have that too, but I don't. So
And I love them. I like looking at the people, and I have like friends that aren't necessarily bookstagrammers, but they're on Instagram. And they'll be like, "Hey, do you follow this person? They've got a bazillion followers." And I'm like, "No, man, that's really pretty, but there's no way I don't have that kind of I'm not. I barely look
yeah,
at
yeah.
pictures, so that's not going to happen for me. No, what I try to do is I always try to, in my own words, talk a little bit about the book. I don't try to put about the book that much, unless in my review I didn't explain. I feel like I didn't explain it that much. I tried to make it kind of short and simple, because I've been putting like my take. That's what I've been putting for my reviews now, kind of my take, what I liked about it. I do feel like sometimes I feel like I'm saying the same things, so sometimes I feel like I don't get necessarily, like Daughter of a Promise, for an example. I wrote that review yesterday. I wrote a bunch of reviews yesterday because I'm going out of town tomorrow, and I feel like I didn't impassion it as much as that book deserved. So I do think that I'm going to try to start going, now that I've done this with you live, I'm going to try to start going on and maybe like doing some reels, but just videotape myself giving some book reviews, only because like there's some, like those last two I told you about, I don't think what I wrote explains how much I really enjoyed the book.
I get it. I get it. And seeing your facial expression, people will know that you loved it,
Right.
and the tone of your voice. I think that's a great idea. I think you should, I mean, even if it's like, a 30-second, 1 minute,
Right.
and that's it, you show the book, you tell them that you loved it or whatever.
Right.
And that'll really help authors. I think they would really like that. They love seeing the reels because nowadays reels probably get more people looking at them than the posts.
Right. And I'm terrible about doing that as well. That's one thing too. I feel like all my reels look just alike. So I do try to look at other people, what they do, but I think I'm going to try at least once a week to get on and like I said, just videotape a 30 seconds,
Yeah.
just saying, hey, this is what I read. This is why I really loved it. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. But, I mean, you're doing this right now. You're doing a fabulous job.
Thank you.
And, just set up your phone, press record, and if you don't like it, do it again. You know what I mean? Right. It's because with reels, they don't have to be live, so you can take a couple of takes and you know what's nice about like the TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff, nobody really expects, it doesn't have to be like so professional. I mean, of course there are some out there, but I really don't think an author is going to care, what you're wearing. As long as you're talking about their book and that you're loving it, they're not going to care, because people are going to look at the book and hear what you're saying. They're not going to care, that you're wearing your pajamas or
right. Yes.
Well, you can make it a pajama reel,
Exactly. I was thinking I live both places. I live near a park. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll do like call it something catchy and be like a review from the park. Because either way, wherever I live.
See, you're already thinking. I love it.
I know it. I'm brainstorming.
I love it. That's terrific. Good for you. Now, what kind of like genres do you gravitate towards?
So when I choose for myself, it's thrillers usually first. Then I like historical fiction. Then I'll go rom-coms. I'm not huge into spicy rom-coms. I'll read, I read about anything. I'm more than willing to give anything a go. I think that's part of being a good reader in the bookstagramming community. Not like if I've got full-time job and I can only read for pleasure. Rom-coms, and then I like true crime. I like random nonfiction books, like books that'll be like tell like stories about just interesting random things like salt or like just weird things. So
I like it. You have a really a really large umbrella.
I do.
And that's what makes you, I think, because if you're interested in a lot of those things, to me, that shapes you into even a better person than just sticking with just the one, because you can learn so much from the other genres.
I 100% agree. And that's part of it too, is learning, even at my old age, trying to learn some, or, just to keep finding information about no matter what. Cause like the historical fictions now are so interesting, and, a lot of them are based on lives of real people, or they're based on real events. And to me, like a lot of the stuff I didn't know. And I love history and I love English, but it's fascinating.
It is. It is, and the research that goes involved with the historical fiction, and they have to make it right, because there's going to be somebody emailing them saying, it didn't snow in such and such country during in November, whatever. It's like, if you don't do your research, someone's going to tell you. It shouldn't be like that. Let the writer just write, but they really have to know what they're talking about. But I think that's what's so great about the books, is that they research all this stuff, and as they're researching, then they find these little, these characters that should be known about, but nobody knew about, which I love. Mm-hmm.
I got to shout out my sisters on here.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out Yaya Mom, that she loves tutors. She's the big historical fiction. She's retired too, so.
Hi, Yaya Mom.
She's my sister. She's in North Carolina.
Oh, very nice. So she's nice and toasty. I'm in New York. It's gray and chilly, and yesterday was just raining and wind all day. Oh, it's not spring yet here. Oh, well, that's nice. I'm glad that your sister joined in.
Yeah.
She waved. I'll wave back to her.
Okay.
She did a wave, so I waved back to her.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, What else can I ask you? Okay, well, you told us about it's Virtuous Women, right?
Virtuous Women, yes.
And then A Daughter of Promise. Do you have anything on your on your night table that you're reading now? And then also, I'm making a two-ended question. Do you prefer print or Kindle, or
Ooh.
you don't, or audio?
Okay, those are good questions. So right this second, what was I reading? I literally, before I got on, I was reading I think is it Jennifer Beardsley? Anyway, she's doing like, it was a 3-part, just like photographs from the Cove, postcards from the Cove is what I'm reading now. And then the other was notes from something. Anyway, so I was actually reading the first one, and I do multiple books,
Yeah,
multiple.
that's what I was going to ask you. Like, are you like working on an audio and a
Yeah,
print at the same
yeah,
time? Yeah.
all the time. So that I'm reading that on my Kindle. A physical book I literally just got in today. Oh my gosh, I just literally started it. It's some sort of mystery, like a cozy mysteries. I like cozy mysteries. So I grabbed that, and then I'm listening to on audio Kill for Me, Kill for You, I think something like that. I got that from the library, from my one of my digital libraries. It
Isn't
is
that a
really
new
good.
one?
It is a new
Yeah.
one.
I had a feeling it was. Yeah. A lot of people don't realize that the library is just a phenomenal resource for audiobooks.
Yes.
I shouldn't even tell anybody that, because then I'm not gonna be able to get them when I want them. No. But it's such a great resource, and I think people are afraid of audiobooks. Like my mom, for example, I kept on saying, you really need to try. I mean, she's 80, but you try the audio, try the audio.
Right.
Finally talk her into it, and she's like, this is the best thing. Oh my God, why didn't I do this a long time ago? I go, I've
Yes.
been telling you for years to do
Yes.
it. So now she's
I'm a
just an
huge
audiobook.
I agree with you. I'm a huge, and a lot of people don't like it. They say they can't concentrate, or they feel like they're going to miss stuff. And maybe I do. But I always have an audiobook going. Like, it's like a perfect excuse. Like I said, Daughter of a Promise, I listen to in a day. So I literally washed all my windows and my
That's what I'm
blinds.
saying.
It
Yeah,
kept me
it gets
busy.
you going.
It
Yeah.
does. And walking, it makes me walk further. It'll keep me, because you don't, to sit and listen to an audiobook, you're kind of like, oh man, that's embarrassing. So you got to feel like you're doing something. So at least you're, like I said, anything, cleaning. So
I
I'm a
love
huge,
cooking and listening,
yes,
or getting ready,
yes,
getting ready for work,
yes,
you can listen to it. There's so many more opportunities to listen than there is to sit and read,
uh, uh,
especially nowadays. It's just nobody really has the time
no,
a lot to sit,
yeah,
because they're running the kids around and this and that, and there's a lot of juggling.
yeah.
So, and you can even listen in the car,
Yes, I always listen. Anytime I'm in the car, like I'm going into, I live in the city, but I'm going to visit some friends where I used to live. So it's about a 30-minute ride. So yeah, I'm like, oh, perfect. Hopefully tonight I can finish this book between I go back and forth. But yeah, I think but I know a lot of people, I love it. I love it. I try to listen to at a 1.5 speed. I can't go over 2 speed. I usually stay about 1.75, 1.80. So, but I always start it like right at 1.5, because I feel like I got to make sure I got to get the baseline of the
yeah,
book. But once
yeah,
I get used to it, then I'm used to it. Listen to it a little bit faster.
yeah, yeah.
So
And yeah, you're going to have to, like when you're listening to it faster, you're not going to be able to do something that you'll get distracted. You know what I
right,
mean? Like if you're washing the windows, you're going to really
right.
listen, because it's not really a lot of thought process
Right,
in the,
working in the
you know.
yard. I do a lot of yard work. I go out there and mow the grass and cut the shrubs and all that kind of stuff and listen, what are the plants? So yeah, 100%. So I do like that. I always have an audiobook going. Um, Always. I did. In fact, I'm going to say this. Hopefully nobody will know. So I'd been doing book of the month forever. So I actually paused my account, and instead of spending the money there, I actually went ahead and I was using Libro FM as an ambassador, but now I'm getting a credit every month as well, because there were just so many books. So that in audio, and I feel like I get through audio quicker than I don't know the last time I honestly got to read one of my book of the month books.
Hmm.
So I actually shifted my money over there, and it also supports my local bookstore that's just right down the road from
Right.
me here in Florida,
Which is nice.
which is nice. So, and I will eventually go back to book of the month, but with X amount of dollars, just like everything else to spend, I was like, oh, you know what? I think I'm gonna, because there was like last month, there was like two books, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I couldn't find it. Always looked in my library, couldn't find anywhere else. I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna go ahead and start a subscription to Libro FM.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, agreed.
but yeah, and so your question, I like the Kindle a lot because it holds a bunch of books if you're flying, and now everybody puts the window shades down, so I'm in the plane a lot, like several times a month, back and forth, and I don't want to have the light on for my hour and 45-minute flight, so Kindle works best for me for flying and like at night where you can read. But I do love paper books too because it's easier to take pictures with them.
Yeah,
I'm not that great with Canva some, and that looks okay. But whenever I do a Canva, I'm like, oh man, that looks so fake. Maybe other people can't see it, but I think to me that looks like I literally stuck an image on top of an image.
Yeah, they are good for pictures and for putting notes in or the flags if you want for book club and things like that. So
I mean, and that's a good point.
They all
them.
serve their purposes, and that's why they have them available for for whatever each and every one. They all have their choice.
Agree. That's a good point too, because I do all the time try to mark, especially in a paper book. I'll mark a lot of notes, like you said, because in Kindle, I'm not really good at doing that. I 100% agree.
Now, do you belong to a book club?
So, yeah. So in my old job, I started a book club, and it's still going. But I moved. Of course, we sold our house where we used to live. We moved away. And but down the road from me in Florida, about 2 miles away, there's a little independent bookstore called Happy Medium Books. Dana's the owner, super nice. I've done a couple author events. I went with her, and she's so nice, and she treats me like a superstar when I'm there. So I'll go and take Bookstagram pictures there. They have like a little cafe, and so I should have told her that I was going to be on. I didn't even think about it. I didn't go up there this week, and so. Yes. So to answer your questions, yes, I did. So I do all the time. So I don't know. Yeah.
So at Happy Medium bookstore, you run a book club there?
Yeah, I don't run it. They have a bunch, which is pretty cool. And they have like a Thriller Lovers. That's the one I went to because I had happened to already read the book.
Yeah.
It was The Fury. But they do all their book clubs every other month because they have a bunch of them. And some really interesting ones. It's just because of my going back and forth, I sometimes miss it. So I try to get one out of the myriad that they do. I try to get to one a month if I can.
Right.
So yeah.
Why don't they do a Zoom as well? Like do the
You know what, I need to ask her about that.
This way other like you and whoever else they have the opportunity to, they could still do it in person and get that in-person feel. And for people that are far away, they want to talk to everybody about the book, but they just can't. So ask them about that because
that's a great idea. And they didn't the one I went to, but it's funny because the April one for the Thriller Lovers, I'll be gone. So I may go over next week and say, hey Dana, can you zoom me in at least for this one so I can talk? Because I do love the people, and it's been super fun. So yes. And then on when I first started Bookstagram, I did kind of buddy reads with 2 other Bookstagrammers, and we had authors on there. We had a lot going on, but they got busy with life. One has children. I moved, so we didn't sustain it. And we probably need to get back to it. One lady lived in New York and the other lady lives in Idaho, and then myself. So that was pretty fun too. But again, you have to coordinate everybody trying to get on, and
I know.
And that kind of stuff.
It's hard. Well, I have a book club too, and it's hard. It's hard to coordinate everybody and get everybody together. And I hear you. Even for a Zoom, it's hard to coordinate, let alone in person.
No, exactly. I'm in a bunch of buddy reads with a bunch of different book friends, Bookstagrammers, and that's why I'm doing the Kill for Me, because we're doing that this month. But most of the time, half the time, like when they decide to do it, I'm always late getting on. So the live discussion I kind of miss, which is fine. The good news is you can always talk late, get on there, read what everybody said. So I do like that part.
Yeah. No, I agreed. What else I know. This is a good one.
Oh.
Have you ever had like a real special encounter with an author, or any author experience, or just anything that really shines out, in your life with an author?
Uh,
Do you have any good
So
stories?
I have one story. Um, so I was doing a book tour for a book. Shelia Athens is her name. She's actually a Jacksonville author, a Florida author.
Oh, okay.
Her book is called Neena Lee is Seeing Things. It's kind of a magical realism, and it's set about an hour from Jacksonville. So when I agreed to be on the tour, like I just look a lot of times. I'm a huge mood reader, so I look at the cover. I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll do this 3 months from now, no problem. I'll be in the mood. Well, I read the book, and I went to my local bookstore, and was on tour there. She actually came and stopped by, and so I told Dana, I'm like, Dana, literally, I have this book. Before she got 3 days before she's coming, I'm gonna post on it. And so she was there on a Saturday. I didn't get to. I saw her on the book day, but she was so nice. I was running late because I had drama with one of my younger children. Anyway, she she had a seat saved for me, and the book is very interesting. I really enjoyed the book. She had a really nice crowd there. They have she had a book club group that had, I guess she's written another book that were using that as their book club book. So she was really interesting, and it was very interesting because kind of like this, she kind of during the conversation when she was talking about the book, she was talking about Bookstagram and why she does book tours. She's an independent. She chose to independently publish her book, and why she did that, and the importance of virtual book tours, not just her going to all
Yeah.
these books. So that was really interesting for everybody in the audience, I think, to realize what goes into this book that she's already poured her heart, sweat, and tears into, like you said. And then, also now it's like she said, I've got to promote it, and I've got to figure out a way to promote it that's economical because I can only mail so many books. So that was really special. She was really neat to talk to face to face. The ones in Chicago I enjoy. We have a group up there. I love those people. If it wasn't for the Wendy Cindy Bookstagrammers, like I wouldn't know anything in Chicago. Like I message them all the time. Hey, I'm coming here. Where do I go eat? And they're up there. They have a lot of like big names come, up there. We're here. And so it's been nice to see that. But she's one person that it was really cool because I literally just by happenstance had read her book, which is super. I just feel that's super specific, and so that was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was meant to be. You were meant to be there, you know?
It was. So that's one. But like I said, up there they have book events in Chicago all the time, which are really, really cool. And they have like the big authors and the big auditoriums and all that's fun. And to meet up with some of those ladies, like just in my town, I live outside of Chicago. I think there's 3 others that literally live in the same town. So that's a very cool group as well.
That's really nice. I'm
Yeah.
so glad that you have such a large, a large book lover group, and different sections too. It's not just, one thriller. It's all across the board.
Right.
So you're very lucky. You're very lucky to have all those bookish people in your life.
Agreed. They're good people.
What else can I ask you? Well, okay, you kind of already mentioned this in a little bit. I want to talk about the importance of book reviews for an author. Now, you were saying about the Sheila Jackson, she was explaining to everybody, about the virtual book tours and how she, the reviews and all that. And we also talked about, how you post reviews, but has anyone ever mentioned to you how important book reviews are for authors? Do you know that, or do you guys talk about that in your bookish talks with other
Yeah,
people?
I think that when I'm in some bookish groups with some authors. Some are like Ellery Adams, who's a best-selling author of cozy mysteries. She actually lives in my hometown, so I haven't met her face to face, but I look forward to the day we do giveaways together and stuff. But I think that's super important. She's a great perspective because she's a bookstagrammer, but she also is an author, and I think it's important, and that the review is authentic. That it's not just even if it's just a couple of sentences on
Right.
Goodreads and Amazon. And I know Goodreads is easy because you write what you write, but Amazon, like I may post a review and then I may get a message, and it takes a couple of days to get it approved. And so I may get somebody from the the book tour I'm hosting, like, hey, have you posted a review? I'm like, yeah, I posted it once. I'll repost it. It just hasn't been
I
approved
was
yet.
probably one of them.
Actually, no, usually pretty good. And usually I have a really good, I do have a system. My system is the day that I post on Instagram about the book for book tours is the same day that I put it on Goodreads and I put it in Amazon. So I don't, because I'm afraid I'll forget. So
Yeah, yeah.
I literally will post it, go into Goodreads, then go into Amazon. That's just the way that's the one process I do. It works for me. So then I don't get a message and be like, hey, I haven't seen it. And I'll be like, oh crap, I forgot, because at least I know that I did it, whether it's been approved or not. So
Right,
I
right.
know it's very important to the authors. I think not only does it mean the world to them, but it bumps them up like in the world of Amazon and the world of Goodreads, because I noticed they're all kind of semi-connected, even on Kindle, because I do have Kindle Unlimited. All that stuff is very connected, and I'm not in the know in the world of writers, but I feel like anything you can do for them, especially if you like the book. I don't know, but I never have posted a bad review.
Yeah, yeah, agreed.
Because I don't, my feeling on that personally is just like wine. You like what you like and you don't like what you don't like. So it's kind of hard to say, I think it's bad. It's a bad wine, or it's a bad book, or
Mm-hmm.
it's a bad whatever. You just don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. So I have a hard time with that. And I know people do it, and I get why they do it. And I don't know. Maybe I'm a softie when it comes to
No,
that.
I think it happens with me, with some of the readers. They'll say yes to a book, they want to read it, they're excited about it, and then the review might say, well, I really don't read thrillers. Well, then why did you
Right.
or I really, I'm not really a thriller person. Well, then why did you say you wanted to read,
Right. Right. Hey, look, I'm a shout out. Patricia Sands is on here. Talk about a phenomenal author.
Yes.
She's a great,
Oh, say
she's a
hi to
great author.
Patricia.
Yes,
I had Patricia.
I just
I had
started.
her
She
on.
joined.
Did you watch when I had her on?
No.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, go on either my page or her page, and you can
Okay.
watch the whole thing. Yeah, she is a doll.
She's a great author. She's one that I've been reading her books for a while.
Oh.
She's great.
Yeah, we were talking about The Bridge Club. I don't know if you read
Yeah,
that one
I
or
sure
not.
did. That's the first book I ever read by her, and I think it was like an anniversary issue.
Yeah,
That's
that's what we were talking
were you
about.
okay? Oh, that was a great
Yeah,
one.
you have to watch the interview because it's based on real life people. She didn't make it up.
Right.
So you just watch it. Yeah, you'll just watch it and you'll learn a little bit and hear some stories.
Oh, good.
So yeah, that's why I do the peeling back the label with authors, is to find out like the behind the scenes stuff, any stories that nobody would know about. Like she was telling us about how her one of her book characters, who was a real person, overheard someone on the bus talk about the book, and then she's like, "That's me. I was Bonnie. I'm the one in the book." And nobody would have known that if she didn't, say it. So
Right.
little tidbits like that are always good, good to watch. And I also want the Bookstagrammers to come on this whole month because we all need to thank you, and anyone who was just listening this whole time can see that you're a hard worker. You're juggling your family, you're traveling back and forth, and you're reading all these books. And how many books do you read a month about?
Ooh, I don't
You could just
know. I'd
guess.
say I'd say I read on average a book a day.
See, I mean, that's crazy.
By the time I finish, whether out of the three mediums, I'll finish like one today. So
Yeah, see, that's
yeah, the
insane. I mean,
weekends probably not. So I'd say by 20, but I see people, they'll put their monthly whatever. I don't keep up with it. So I'd say by 25 to 30 books a month.
that's that's a tremendous accomplishment. And then you're putting those reviews on for the authors. So that,
Right.
the reviews are what they need. They need those reviews, because if they're not posted on Amazon, someone will say we're talking about a book and we look it up. Oh, it has no, it doesn't have any stars, or
Right.
it doesn't have enough people read it.
Right.
Then you might not read it,
Right.
So
No,
they need
100%.
every single review they need.
It is, and that's a good point in the not to the younger generation. So my youngest daughter is at Florida State. She's a huge reader, and she always, like, we go shopping together. Like, she always is on her Goodreads to see what the stars are and how many people read it. So it's funny that you say that, because I don't even think about that when, and I don't. I never, ever, ever even think about it. I read the back, I look at the cover, I'm like, yeah, I'll give it a go. But like, she's uber focused on that. I mean, she will be like, we'll be even at the secondhand store and I've got credit. And she's like, well, this only has 3.2 stars. And I think just generally, even with going out to eat or whatever. So your point is well taken.
Yeah. And I also agree on your side, though. You really probably, it's good to go by that, but don't, take it with a grain of salt.
Right.
Like, for example, I'm reading a book right now on audio and through the library, and it only had like 3 stars. But if you go on Amazon, the print book, it has like 5 stars. So, and meanwhile, the person that is narrating the book is an award-winning narrator. So I maybe only two people, posted a review, and that was the the average. I don't know, but tell your daughter not to always go by that. It's good. Take it as information, but don't always go by that, because I might not have picked that book if I didn't know about it. You know what I mean? Somebody mentioned it to me, right, said, you need to read it. But if I went by just the 3 stars, I might not have picked it up.
Agreed. 100%. I agreed on that. And I don't, especially if I'm going to post review, I don't want to read somebody's review, because I don't want that somehow to get in my mind and I even remotely say anything that they would say. So I try to stay totally away from anything, especially with book tours. If I just listen to it for fun, I may, but honestly, I never do.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's all we have time for today. Is there anything else that you would like to tell the bookish world out there?
No, it's been a great community. I appreciate you. It's been super fun, and now I'm ready to go out to the world and do some of my own reviews video wise.
Yes, I cannot wait to see. What did you say? Reviews in the park or something?
Something like that. Yeah. Something in the park.
I can't wait. When you're done with your brainstorming and everything, I can't wait to watch your reels, and I think the authors will be so happy. And if you signed up for any of my tours, I don't know, but if you are, maybe you'll do a reel.
Definitely, I definitely will. Absolutely.
Now, let's make sure everybody knows it's. How do you say your last name? Is it Rozier?
Rozier.
Rozier.
Rozier, yes. So Rozier Reads and Wine.
Rozier Reads and Wine. Yes. But you're not doing the wine anymore?
No, not really. After COVID, okay. I didn't. It was kind of hard to go. It was super fun when I did it. I learned a lot, and we love wine. In fact, my husband and I are going in 2 weeks to Napa. We always try to go to Napa every year.
Oh, nice.
And so we're going 2 weeks. We're going to go every year for a little yearly trip. But no, I do love wine, but I'm not doing that anymore.
Did you sign up for the book that I'm doing, the coffee table?
I saw it. No, I want to do it so bad, but I'm traveling a lot. I'm actually going to be in Europe. So that's why I didn't do it. I saw when you sent it to me, and I would do it, but I'm not going to be in town. I'm going to be gone.
Well, just so you know, it's just a reviews tour. You don't have to post anything.
Oh.
So it's a coffee table picture book.
I saw that.
With loads of information. You got to do it. You have to sign up, because I can send it to you, because everything that you see in this book, you can use it when you go to Napa. I'm not,
Okay, I'll go. I'll message you right now. I'll do that.
Okay, yeah, or I could just send you the link. But yeah, you got to do it.
Yes,
it's a phenomenal book, and the pictures are just gorgeous. Oh,
I did. I saw that. I was so tempted, but like I said, we're traveling.
Yeah, it's reviews, so it doesn't. It doesn't matter, and it's good. It's no posting whatsoever. You have to just make sure you post your reviews.
I can handle that.
Yay! I'm so glad. Okay, that's good. It's funny how I mentioned it, and here we are. And I'm sorry, I'm always a salesperson.
That's okay. That's part of life. You need to be. Your books are good. The books that you promote are all good books.
Oh, thank you so much. What else I wanted to? Do you help promote any products or anything?
I do. So I have on my shirt, I don't know if you can see it. So for a long time, it said, what does it say on here?
I can't. It's backwards,
It's
so I can't see it.
backwards. So something about so many days, something about a good book. So for a long time, I've repped. I do rep a bunch, not a bunch, but several things. But I at Literary Creations by Jenny. She's a small business. She does bookish tees, book sleeves, and bookmarks. And I've been repping her for a couple years now.
And what was
And
it? Literary
Creations by Jenny.
By Jenny. Okay.
By Jenny. And so her stuff is very cool. Her parents help her. She's like everybody's involved in it. And I just love it. That's my favorite. And I buy the stuff. I don't like get the stuff for free or whatever, but I buy it and I wear it all the time. Book sleeves. I probably have 30 book sleeves. So she's one. I do some big ones like Once Upon a Book Club, the Birth Date company, their candles. There's several other big companies, but Literary Creations by Jenny was there when I didn't have hardly any followers, and I was a rep, and I'm always going to rep her no matter what.
Now, do you have a special code to use for anyone to get a discount?
There is. In fact, I put all the links in my bio of the one.
Okay.
And it's so there's, like I said, that's for her, and there's a couple others, like more big names as well. So if anytime you want to shop, use my link to get, I think, 10% off, 15% off, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, when I when I do the posting, I'll mention it to to go to your account to get the discount.
Absolutely.
So at least Jenny will also get acknowledged on the video.
I hope so. Absolutely. She's neat, and it's a neat thing she does.
Yeah, book t-shirts and sweatshirts, they're fun.
They are fun. They are super fun. And everybody kind of, when I get on the plane, I usually always wear them. They're like my good luck travel t-shirts. There's always a flight attendant like, oh my God, I love your read. So it's always a good conversation starter when I'm traveling.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. Aw. Well, good luck traveling. Safe travels. Thank you so much for coming on. I had such a good time with you.
I did too. Thank you so much for having me. It was super fun.
Thank you. Have a great day, Debbie.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Bye.